Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Let me take these hearing aids out because I don't think I'm going to need them, even though it sounds like I'm underwater. Just to let everyone know, I'm very grateful. I have to be careful as I do that. Thank you for my card. And yes, I will be reading through the whole letter and speaking to Ned because there's a few things I want to look at. Some other little bits in there. Oh, look, I found some other bits now. Who's that? There's some excellent. Oh, look at that. Very good. So I'll be looking at some of that and reading through it a little bit later. There's some other bits I need to do. Are you all with me? Give me a 5v5. Apologies for being late. I was actually eating me fish and chips, which I've just finished. Actually, it wasn't fish and chips. It was a sausage. I had sausage and chips. There's a little glance. Oh, look at that. Let's see if we can get that bang on. How's that? So don't forget, I'm sitting on a wobbly table. And I've got to try and organise how I can lift that slightly. Let me see if I can put that card underneath it. That card might be perfect. Yeah. See if I can put that on there. Don't forget, sharing is caring. So if you can hear me and see me, give me a 5v5. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. And one further point, don't forget all of it. Sharing is caring. I'm trying to move without hitting this so it goes all over the place, but it will go all over the place. It will wobble everywhere until I've sorted out all my camera systems and the new PC, which I missed this morning because I missed the post because I haven't got something on there connected. Because when I take my hearing aids out, I can't. There's no knocker. They just go like that on the door and walk off. That's it. I'm like, you know, but I've got to find a way of sorting that out. So hopefully everyone's there. Don't forget to smash this out. So earlier on today, so making sure in the description of this video, I have said a number of things, but one is that there's 3 crucial points, right? So if you go and have a look at the description of the video, you will see what them crucial points are, and I'll give you an indication. I have said Advance UK only speak for the British, speak of the British as a nation, which we all know it is not. Not one person in Advance UK has spoken about the regionalisation of England, right? None of them. That's a big issue, right? Yet they haven't spoken about it. This is a crucial topic and must be addressed. 3 crucial topics. Now, I want everyone to be sending this video to Advance UK, and especially if you can, just take the link and send it to Ben Habib, right? And ask him to read this description of the video for a response, right? But there are 3 crucial topics. One is the de-regionalisation of the UK. It was an EU concept to destroy England, and it still is. 2, void and abolish, not repeal, the British Nationality Act of 1948 and 1981. 3, void the statutory acts of union of 1706 and 1707 and return to the common law union of 1603. Now, he can put that to referendum, and only to England, because England's the only nation that's never been asked. Scotland's been asked 3 times, I believe. Wales and Northern Ireland have twice had national referendums, right, on various issues. But the only country who's never had its own independent national referendum on the Acts of Union is England. And the reason why is because I know what the answer is going to be. So again, it's not rocket science, but alas, Ben is a Pakistani Brit. Pakistan was created in 1947. The petition was created by the British, a flashpoint. And again, if you look at what's happened to England, and especially with an unlawful ultra-vires repeal of the English Bill of Rights, and that means a section, chapter 2, when they top and tailed it, that was done in 1947. 1947, 1948. Again, British Nationality Act, 1947, 1948. Can you start to see this has been to destroy us, meaning England, right? So don't forget, Ben was educated at Cambridge University. This party is not grassroots party and is as fake as Robert Lowe and Nigel Farage, right? So I am telling you all, you are being conned. They sent out through their email. They've not responded to any of my emails. Polite emails. There's nothing wrong with the emails whatsoever. And they have not. All they've done is try to get me on a space on Twitter by sending out loads of emails. To a large extent, that worked. There was, I think, 700 when I went on there. But they was not every single one of them. You had Welsh people on there, you got Northern Irish on there, you got Scots on there, but there's no one talking about England, right? They are all satisfied with the destruction of England, and I can't tolerate that, to be honest. It's a bullshit party. It's a lie from the start. You were being conned, or everyone is being conned. It's no different to reform. Is my opinion. They're saying they've got this college going, and there's a lady on there, and there's people on the spaces on Twitter saying, "Oh, I'm at Cambridge. You know, I'd love to be on this and talk about politics." Right? Oh yeah, well send us an email and we'll talk to you because we want to talk to everyone. They don't want to talk to anyone. They don't. The only people they're interested on is the minority of people in Britain who believe that Britain is a nation when it is an island with separate nation states, and British and the British Union Parliament is not a nation, right? So again, you've got all these people from Oxford University, Eton, and all these people. Ben Habib, you know, mother was highly educated, was an architect that went to Pakistan, right? They're not like us. And whereas we can see what the problems are, and the people that they've got involved, Tommy Robinson, Paul Thorpe, many other people, do not give a flying fig about England, right? So I hope I'm making it clear that you need to send this video to them. And then I've got to tell you something, in my opinion, this is my opinion, currently England is being strangled to death and won't be around for much longer. It is the end of England, right? Unless people actually start doing stuff, sending the emails to Ben Habib, contacting him via Twitter or whatever other means. But if there is no one there to talk of England and to put these three crucial points across, then England is dead. There is no nation called England. It has been regionalised and it is now part of the European Union. That's it. Scotland has already been regionalised, right? So is Wales and so is Northern Ireland. But certain people in these groups are just too, I don't know whether I can use the word naive. Naive isn't the word I would use. They know. This is simple logic. This is simple. The construct of regionalisation was to destroy England. And what you've got are these other parts, the nations of the United Kingdom, right, which is Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, seeking to destroy via regionalisation, because then they say the United Kingdom nations and regions of the UK. There is no England. It's gone, right? And people can see what's happened to London, right? It's not difficult to understand what's gone on here. So are you all getting my message that you all need to do that, right? I can't do it on my own, and I rely on this audience to understand what is going on. And we only get results when we work in unison and go out there and say, this is what's going on. And you are not who you say you are. So would I ever stand for advanced UK? Definitely not. If they want to talk to me, which I very much doubt, they're not interested in English whatsoever. All right, they want us destroyed, and in doing so, they are destroying the beating heart of the United States of America, and that's what the American audience should understand: who these people really are, and that includes Ben Habib, and that includes Rupert Lowe. Graham's the only. We are the only legitimate English group out there. I can tell you that now. I mean, there's some close people that come up with us that are currently on YouTube, but there's not many. There's not many at all. And that is because the British have control, right? Did anyone see today that Grok's account had been suspended by the Twitter or X algorithms? Did anyone see that? So the Grok account had been suspended by X. Just think about that. And then there was someone who put a tweet out saying it's been suspended. I wonder why. And you go on a little Grok button, right? So Grok as an AI is different to its X persona, right? So I put on it X, but I just clicked on it and said, you know, is this true? And it come back and said, yeah. And he said the questioner has asked why he thinks it happened, and then Grok told you why. Guess why? Because it had been answering questions about Israel correctly and honestly, without any political correctness, and basically told people that it is a genocide, that 40,000 civilians have now been killed in Gaza, and there is a legitimate court case against them for human rights abuses. So just think about what I just said, right? I was surprised Andy Gabby Campbell expressed support for Farage. I've listened to Ben for a long time. He's sharper than Farage. But no. You're right. So again, don't be taking it too negatively that people are joining Advanced UK. Don't think that's a negative. One way of seeing if they are what they say they are is to see if they listen to the English, right? And they can only listen to you if you join them. All I'm saying is I've sent emails. I went on their spaces. They're not interested. You can tell straight away just by listening to the conversation. When there's all Welsh people and Northern Irish and Scots, they're a minority of people trying to protect the establishment. That's all they're doing. And you can say that they're naive. I don't believe they are. I believe absolutely they know what they're doing, right? And it is to destroy England without any doubts whatsoever. Blessings, greetings. And don't forget, if you avoid the Acts of Union, Pakistan wouldn't exist either, nor would Israel. That's all I'm saying to you. But you do need to try and get on there and say, when you lot going to speak about the English? And they just won't, right? That's why this party, it's a minority party that project that they are the majority, and they are not. Right? You can go and have a look at the 2011 census, but people like me will never get access to people like Ben Habib. Right? And I do consider, I've said this before, go back to a previous show, I do consider that Paul Thorpe, Ben Habib, and a number of others are traitors, right? Or are they traitors? Or are they just declaring war on the English? Because I think that's what they've done. The British are declaring war on the English to destroy England. That's it. That's the end result. So I just want people to know that. By the way, I'm not going to do a massively long show, but what I am going to be doing is showing you something, a couple of other little things that I wanted people to understand. I've got to see if I can go and find them now. Will it be on my... I've got to go back and see if I can find them. Right, this is one of them. I'm gonna. So all I'm doing is showing you. You definitely want to go and see this. Right? Hopefully, I'm going to bring this up, and we're going to go on it here. Right, and I'm going to show you a little bit of this video. I'm going to put it out there so Tracy will have the message out there. That's it in a nutshell, Daisy. That's it. That is it in a nutshell. These people are dangerous people, right? Listen, you're going to have to trust me when I say this. They ain't never going to sucker me in anywhere. But you do need to try and have access to them, because at least you can say, well, we did try and warn you. We did try and tell you, but you're the people attacking us, right? And again, I believe the Americans are, I believe, waking up to it. And if they're not, they soon will be. So on your screen as we speak, there is so much of this. I sent it out in our group, and I said to people, like, go and have a watch of it, right? It's a guy called Mike Davis. I actually follow him on Twitter, right? And he is the advisor to Trump.
One place we're thinking of starting the film is when President Trump goes to the Justice Department to speak at the Great Hall. What is he doing in that moment? What does it represent for you?
It represents for me that he beat the Biden lawfare and election interference over the last 4 years. The Biden administration, along with their allies in New York and Atlanta, threw everything they had, and elsewhere, frankly, threw everything they had at President Trump. They tried to throw him in prison for life 4 different times for non-crimes. They tried to bankrupt him for non-fraud. They tried to take him off the ballot in Colorado and Maine. And I think they even tried to take off his head when President Biden intentionally underfunded his Secret Service protection and then said that we needed to put a bullseye on him because he was the gravest threat to democracy. So for President Trump's return to the White House and then his visit to the Justice Department was triumphant for me.
And what did he see in the Justice Department? As you said, he'd been prosecuted by it. He talks about, he uses the word weaponization. How did he see the Justice Department, or how do you think he saw the Justice Department when he went there that day?
I haven't asked him how he saw the Justice Department, but I would imagine that he saw the Justice Department as a place that needs to be reformed. It has been politicized and weaponized. It started under Obama. It was on steroids under President Biden, and we have seen for 8 years this Justice Department politicized and weaponized against President Trump. His top aides like Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro, who went to prison, his supporters on January 6th. This Justice Department went after parents who were outraged by gender chaos in schools and the resulting rapes in high school bathrooms. This Justice Department targeted Christians, including putting a 75-year-old pro-life Christian in prison for praying at an abortion clinic, while this Justice Department turned a blind eye, gave amnesty to Biden and his corrupt family. They failed to prosecute BLM and Antifa and Hamas. It's inexcusable how this Justice Department was politicized and weaponized, but frankly, it was a big reason that President Trump won the 2024 election.
Well, let me stop it there, right? there's lots of things that I didn't know here, but he actually tells you in this video that US aid was funding Hamas, and Hamas were killing American and our soldiers, right? But mainly American. So Hamas were murdering our soldiers, and he goes into detail further through the video. As you get to the end of the video, he starts telling. It's a very aggressive interview. It's a very straight talking interview. He says, "You was all warned what was going to happen. You have politicised the judiciary. When you take your robes off as a legal professional and you get into the political arena and start throwing punches, you are going to get some very, very strong punches back." And he said, I didn't know, by the way. Well, I knew what happened, but I didn't know the depth of it until he told you in here. But do you remember the judge that stepped in and put an injunction against the people that were being returned to Venezuela and other countries? That was a full-scale military operation where President Trump had okayed it with the military in the other nations. Then their military was on standby because there was 200 terrorists, known terrorists, that were being shipped out of the country on military aircraft and taken to these other nations. And the judge stepped in and said you should turn the planes back and all that. This guy basically said that's in effect treason. That judge has now believes he's the elected chief of the military, the commander in chief, and the chief of the executive, when he is absolutely not. And he said he now will find the full consequences for his actions. I think they're not. He says we're going to impeach him, right? He said, and there's a possibility that John Roberts could be impeached, and a number of other judges. But he said during this interview it could be worse than that, which means they could be tried for treason, right? So this guy is one of the top guys in the United States of America, and all he spoke about was Article 2, Article 2, Article 2, Article 2 of the Constitution of the United States of America, right? They are absolutely going to make sure that this never happens again. And for that to happen, there has to be accountability. And that's what's being worked on in the background. So I'm just making sure you all understand that. I've sent that video out, and I want you to go and have a look at it. There's another video I want to show you. Hopefully I will be able to find it, which I will, I'm sure. Let's have a look and see if I can find it. There he is. Right, so I find this often because I've actually gone on to somewhere else, right? Before I do anything else, I'm going to show you this. This is Tucker Carlson, right? And there's the video. He's actually talking. Let me swap it to this one. Share this tape instead, right? I'm gonna play you the first part of it, just show you know who she is. Now, what I'm going to do is just read you the headlines. A difficult life of a Christian living in the Holy Land. Israel's apartheid system. Are we being lied to about the relationship between Muslims and Christians in the Middle East? According to this lady, we are. Why is Israel's Christian population declining? She tells you the reason. Why are American Christians supporting Israeli persecution of Christians? Israel's stealing of Christian land. and she goes into detail, Christians being killed in the Holy Land by the Israelis, right? The 2002 Israeli siege on the Church of the Net in Bethlehem. You got no sound. Right, sorry. I don't know how that's happened. Did you get sound on the last video? The live has gone off. Stop sharing. Frozen. No sound. Well, let me see if I can do it again. Also share sound. Tucker. Share sound. Right. What the fuck is going on with this now?
Greater part, not just Palestine included Syria and Lebanon at a different time under different empires and things. So yeah, they're the first Christians, the Christians at the time of Christ. And it's very difficult to practice their faith. It's sort of like you're in a gilded cage. And that's how I look at Bethlehem. Within Bethlehem, you can live there, but you can't go and visit your friend who lives near Jacob's Well in Nablus without taking it. In fact, the priest in Bethlehem just told me the other day, his wife is from near Jenin, which normally would take you about an hour and a half to get between the two. Her father has prostate cancer. In order to get treatment, there was only hospitals. Nothing in the Northwest Bank could deal with it, either in Jerusalem or in Hebron, which is south of Bethlehem. And last year, or a couple of years ago, he was able to go to Jerusalem with a permit to get the treatment. But this year, the Israelis wouldn't let him. So it took him over 5 hours to get down to Hebron, and a man who's old and sick to doing things. So whether it's for those kind of activities or practicing your faith or visiting your relatives, which is part of Christian life too, right? You want to celebrate the holidays with your family and friends. It becomes very difficult to do.
The reason I'm asking these questions, well, first, I think it's worth worrying about Christians who are the minority population. Well, it's worth worrying about Christians in general. But the United States is a majority Christian country that pays for a huge percentage of the Israeli economy, both through trade and direct grants and military assistance and all the rest. Israel couldn't exist without the United States. So, and it has the support of so many Christians in the United States. And I don't know if they're fully aware. I want to think they would care if they knew how the Christians are doing. And I keep reading that the Christian population in the region has declined dramatically since Israel became a state in 1948.
Right.
And I'm not quite sure why.
Well, again, I think it has to do because the whole issue is that Israel has continued to grow and think that they can dominate the Christian areas, the areas of Palestine. So they make it very difficult for anyone else to be able to live there. As simple as that.
But you would think Christians would get a special pass or dispensation because the United States is the great patron and it's a Christian country.
No, because, well, the problem you have is one with the Christian Zionists, the ones who don't recognize the Christians in the Holy Land as being fully Christian, apparently. Because why would a crew? I have a very hard time understanding why someone who calls himself a Christian and then gives money to support the building of settlements. Do we understand what that means? The settlements are in the areas of Palestine. They're taking over the land that belongs to the people of Palestine. And this has been going on, like I said, I've been there since 1996, and I've seen the continued growth of the settlement. I lived in Bethany, biblical Bethany. Beyond and over the mountain, Mount of Olives, was the convent I was in Jerusalem. And to the east of me was the settlement of Mali Adumim in 1998. It was a relatively small settlement then. And then you go down the road to Jericho. It was one lane. It's now a larger highway. And that settlement of Mali Adumim is like a huge city and has closed off the people of Bethany. We are closed off in Bethany from going to our convent in Jerusalem because of the wall that was built on Palestinian land, on Christian land. There's a Christian home for boys that the Israelis just took over and cut up to make part of the wall that's separated. So it wasn't done for security to build that wall. It was done simply to expand the borders of Israel.
Wait, so they went right through Christian land. Did Christians in the West say anything about this?
Very few. I mean, there was, and also on that stretch at the lower end of the Mount of Olives, there was a nursing home run by a Catholic church, and the nun that was in charge, she spoke to the French press, and soon after she was she was sent to Lebanon or to another post. Wasn't allowed to be there. Me, at the same time, the wall was built right beyond Lazarus's tomb. Our school is walking distance from Lazarus's tomb, from where Martha and Mary lived, and they built the wall right above where the tomb is. So that separated some of our teachers from being able to come to school. It separated our families on either side of the wall. So in April of 2005, I went to Washington and spoke to some congresspeople, not to demean Jews or not to even demean the state of Israel, to say, look, we are being affected by this wall. It's affecting our religious life. I can't go to visit my convent easily anymore because of this wall. It's disrupting our school life. And
so this is on for an hour and 34 minutes. I've just put the link out there to everyone. She explains how the Israelis are murdering Christian children in Palestine and Israel. She explains about tanks running over Christian crosses and aiming for them. She talks about, let me see if I can bring this up to this particular point. Right, just listen to this. I'll probably run this for 5 minutes.
Telling someone who has been known to be a terrorist, calling him out.
That's pretty bold.
It's pretty bold.
I would say that's pretty bold. Yeah. So the government of Syria now, the government run by the former ISIS leader, is pro-Israel.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the whole plan. And, when you get to it, they talked about from the river to the sea, right? Where did that statement come from? Look at the charter of Likud, the party of Netanyahu. They very clearly say from the Jordan to the Mediterranean is going to be Israel.
And that includes Cyprus.
And really from the Nile to the Euphrates, which means going into Iraq, into the edges of Egypt, and up to Salah. So that's why we had the war in Iraq. Why did our young people have to die? Why did we have to spend so much money on a war? I was supposed to visit Iraq in early 2000s. Our school secretary, her father was born in Mosul, and he was a Syrian Christian. And so this is an opportunity to go and visit him. And that's when they started chopping off the heads and doing things. So we thought better of making that part of the trip. But how many Christians were displaced from Iraq during that time.
Almost all of them.
Almost all of them. And now in Syria, you're seeing the same thing, which in 2004, I saw vibrant communities. I saw people who could live, even under Assad, as Christians. Now, they're in fear for what's going to happen to them.
I mean, it's hard to see this as an accident. So West Bank, Gaza, Iraq,
some sort of plan.
Syria, Lebanon, all places where U.S. foreign policy touches at the behest of Israel see the destruction of Christian communities.
Right.
I'm guessing that's like not an accident.
No, not at all. It's definitely part of a plan. But the thing is, why should we be supporting that plan? And also, we're focusing on the Christians, but I said we had girls who were Russian background who lived in the cities of Israel. And what you've seen the last 20 years too, instead of that nascent peace movement, instead of people who tolerated their neighbor and could live with their neighbor, it's become a totally militant society. The girls I know that are there now, it's a lot of aggression and a lot of hatred. And how many Israelis have that? You're having big problems in Greece now. I don't know if you've seen the I'm a Greek, right?
Yeah.
People are parading through the streets because Israelis have left Israel, even though they're the ones that have all the defense, right? All the protection. Even what kind of a country is Netanyahu trying to have? Do you really want to live in a militarized country that's always in fear and always thinking that they're under attack when they don't have to be?
You say it's more hostile. You see these videos of Christians, priests with crucifixes around their necks getting spit on in Jerusalem. Are those real?
Yes. And I mean, that's happened before, even from the first days that I was there. There'd be occasionally something like that. And occasionally there were graffiti put on walls and, sprayed on Jesus a monkey. 2013. On a church. Yeah, that was right. In Tabka, where the multiplication of the loaves and the fish, a Catholic community, graffiti there, talking about getting rid of the idols or something like that, some sort of Old Testament statement, and burning a statue of the Virgin Mary in parts of the monastery there. So, but that was a small segment. Like even at that time, Ben Gvir and Smotrich were like sort of outcasts in Israel. They weren't the prominent members of Israeli society and what they represented in those religious zealots of it. But now they are in power. And they're dominating everything. And they say sometimes that if the Israelis didn't have the Palestinians, there'd be a civil war between the secular and the religious Jews, which is true. That's what happened.
There's enormous tension.
Yeah.
Enormous.
Sure. That's it.
Do you know anyone who's been spit on? Any Christians who've been spit on?
Me.
You've been spit on?
Of course, yeah.
What do you mean, of course? That's disgusting.
Yeah, well, but that's the least of it. That's the least of it.
But again, I'm saying this as a perspective, from the perspective of someone who lives in a majority Christian country that's paying for all of this.
Right.
So that's kind of
that's the mentality. Or I'll tell you a story. My father is a priest, right? A Greek Orthodox, and he was wearing a collar suit. He visited one time, and we visited the town of Taiba. And there was a checkpoint before you enter into the town.
Can you give us perspective? Where is Taiba?
Taiba is biblical Ephraim. It's when Christ, after he raised Lazarus from the dead, he went about 10 miles to the northeast of Jerusalem, Bethany area, to prepare himself before he would come back to Jerusalem for his crucifixion. Ephraim is known as the town of compassion, of solace. Even in the time of Saladin, it was called Ephraim. It's now called Taiba, which means the good or the beautiful. So it sort of had that reputation. So he went there to prepare himself for his crucifixion. 20 miles, not even 20 miles from Jerusalem.
Interesting. So with your father, who was
my dad,
a pretty
priest,
famous,
an American priest, dressed as a priest, and my mom was there too. So we were going to drive it. So there's a checkpoint sort of at the entrance of the town, and then you have many olive groves. Which, by the way, I was just talking to someone the other day. They have about 8,000 acres of land, let's say, and over a quarter of it has been confiscated either by settlers and the army allowing them to take their olive groves, and they have no recourse. There's nothing.
Who owns the land?
The Palestinian Christian families.
And it's been confiscated from Christian families?
Well, confiscate, what do you do when they have guns and you don't?
I don't know. You call your patron church in the West and you say, raise a stink, call Ted Cruz.
Right. Well,
and
we called Mike.
So I'm going to take that off for a second. Right. So I've put the link out there to these two videos, right? this is about education and you all understanding what's going on. So I'm going to say this. For anyone who's going up on whatever day it is in September, for Tommy Robinson to support these foreigners and many, or a couple of Jewish guys getting up there, right? If anyone goes there, that they should be flying the English flag, the Scottish flag, the Welsh flag, and the Irish flag, Northern Irish flag, and the Southern Irish flag, and the Cornish flag, right? They should not be flying the British flag. But one flag they should not be flying up there is 100% they should not be flying the Israeli flag. Because these people ain't just killing Muslims, where Tommy Robinson, yeah, it's all Hamas, it's all this, it's all that, right? They're shooting Christian people and murdering Christians in Israel and in them holy lands, right? And this is a person who's witnessed it, is going out there and people are being told, right? Now, again, Tommy Robinson stated something on Twitter. And what he said was, if you don't support Israel, you're a jihadist. Well, I'm not a jihadist. You can call me a Christian soldier if you want. You can call me a person who tries to walk in the footsteps of Jesus Christ. You can say all them things, right? You can say that I'm a person who believes in the Ten Commandments. But Israel and what they are doing, and people like Tommy Robinson, Stephen Yatzy Lennon, and all these pals on YouTube, and all these people going to this freedom of speech march, you're being coerced, right, by these people to support Israel. There's no one going up on that platform telling you the truth. They're saying it's a freedom of speech platform. No one's going to be talking about England. No one's going to be talking about what Israel is actually doing and trying to put a stop to it. And again, listen, I know some of the things that Trump's done in the background, supporting Israel. I don't know what's going on there. I do not know. It's beyond me. But for someone who wants peace, there's a couple of things I would say, but I'm going to leave it for tonight. But I will be coming back to this, and the only reason I'm going to leave it for tonight is because my arse hurts. Oh, right. So let me just state that God in the Bible never mentioned having a son. Well, I've got to be honest with you. A lot of this has been manipulated by groups of people over 2 millennia of what the Bible should or shouldn't say. And I'd be very careful with all that. I just can't believe feck all from that region. Well, but listen, when the head of ISIS supports Israel, and there were previous reports that some of the fighters, Islamic fighters, were actually IDF soldiers, you should make your own mind up about what's going on. And don't forget, they was killing our soldiers, and they was killing American soldiers. That's it. I ain't really got a lot else to say on that. But I am trying to sort this place out. So I will be back. I haven't heard anything from the courts yet. I do need to make another little check, and I'll do some stuff upstairs when I get up there. I've got this other laptop, so I'm going to set my alarm and get up early. I am grateful for the wonderful person that come here today. He don't like getting a shout out on the show, so I won't give him a shout out, but he knows who he is. And put my wonderful, I wonder if I can show you. Let me show you. I'll show you a picture of my Starlink. Hopefully no one will be able to see anything else up there. Let's see if I can bring some of that up there. Here it is. That won't give too much away, will it? Right, so I'm going to show you this. Oh, no, it's not working. Let's see if I can bring that up there. There it is. touch wood, you'll be able to see this. So on that roof there, which you can't actually see it properly. So I'll jump to the next one. Jump to the next one. There it is. There, next to that chimney, can you see that device? That's what I had to get in from America. And it just literally, so that, by the way, that cable goes right the other side. Right, it looks like it's crossing over the top of it. It's not. And the satellite is just turning around and looking straight up at the stars as such. So there you go. And then in this part, I'm not sure if you can see it. There's weights either side. There's a little device, and it just opens up and sits on your sits on your roof. Let me see if there's another one there. There it is again. So you can see it's actually facing up, and there's weights in there that just keep it. So it's not attached to the roof at all. And there's another angle of it. So I just thought you'd done. So that is a Starlink dish, right? As you look up there, and let me stop sharing. So just to let you know, hopefully you can all see. Did you all see that, by the way? So that just sits there, and then all of this kit now is running off of that. So now I don't have to rely on British Telecom, Virgin, or any of them people. But my main calls are on WhatsApp because I haven't got my phone don't really work properly here, which is causing a bit of a problem. Not majorly, but it is. Let me have a quick look. Did everyone see that? So there it is. It is fastened down. I hope it doesn't blow away. It don't need fastening down. The way that it works, it's got a thing on the top, which is an angle thing, right? You pull it out like that, and then you set it to the roof, right? So, and it sits flush like that flushes on the roof like that, and then it's got weights that sit on the actual feet or legs of it, and it just sits there, won't go anywhere. And then on top is the actual dish itself that sits, and that's not heavy, but it's enough to keep it all in place. And it was designed by Starlink engineers for hurricane force winds in America, and they've tested it out there and said it was fine. The house will blow away before that does. Let me have a quick look. Are you near the sea, D-Day? I'm an hour from the sea that way and an hour from the sea that way in two different. So I'm in central Devon. Graham, be careful when Santa calls. Yeah, no, Santa might cause a bit of a problem. Timbuktu, Jules, 67. Let me have a look. Thanks for that info, DD. So it is one of the best possible ways that you can actually install one, right? Because then you just got to get up on the roof, bang, 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 put it in, run the cable down, put it in. There's one cable that goes up there. It powers it, by the way. The satellite is actually motorized, so it sets itself, and then within 24 hours, it will know exactly where all of the satellite range is. In fact, if I was to go on my phone now, the only reason I'm doing this live is because I wanted to see what it does. Let's have a look. Let's see, it's almost perfect. Well, I don't know anyone who's got an absolute perfect thing on it. If I was to, what's the one that I need to look at? Let's see if I can see obstructions. No data, clear view. There's. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. It's got almost a perfect view of the sky as it's showing me. And then as it spins round, it just keeps going, and it is looking at our satellites. That's good, isn't it? That's it. All right. So again, I brought that with me from the other place. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, English Exit. And don't forget to be emailing and twittering Ben Habib and Advance UK and say when you're going to get someone to talk about the English who actually knows about England. They're not interested. They're not grassroots. Anyone, the groups of people they're trying to pull into that and the people in the background, this is just another Reform UK. In other words, it's a load of bollocks from start to finish. So I will say good night. God bless everyone. I will see you again tomorrow night, and hopefully I'll try and sort something out where I have somewhere to sit properly. I might even do it from the sofa rather than from here again, as long as you don't mind. And then we'll go from there. That's it. Don't forget what I believe in. The Constitution is the solution. I am trying to organise all these books, etc. And then there's a lot of things I've got to do in the background. That's it. Good night, God bless, and I will see you all tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.